What's going on, you guys? I'm Grits, Warzone's most winning player, as you can see on the leaderboard behind me. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do a react video to an aim assist nerf video, as well as talk about some posts on X where they're talking about the aim assist nerf and where they're talking about the aim assist buff. Anyways, if you like react videos and you want to see me do more of these, please hit that like button, comment down below, and hit that subscribe button. That way I know to keep going forward with content like this. We will be talking about aim assist, and if you need aim assist, the best way to use it is with an aim controller. Check the description. There'll be a link as well as a code, GRITS. They're also doing a massive discount for Black Friday, so if you build a perfect controller where you have all the options in there and it's like $500, that code reduces it all the way to $209. All right, let's get into the video.
What's up, guys? My name is Ace, and today we're going to be taking a fairly deep look at the aim assist changes that took place with the launch of Black Ops 7, because as I'm sure many of you guys that have been playing have noticed, it was a fairly significant adjustment. So we're going to be looking at direct side-by-side comparisons with Black Ops 6 to see just how much it actually changed.
All right, so I will say most people that were playing BO7, when this nerf actually came through, a lot of people were complaining on Twitter, oh, it's a controller game, why are you doing this? You're really just catering to people who don't play your game, which is the M&K players. So they were feeling it. I started seeing a lot of clips of people missing their shots, especially up close. So this nerf actually did what they said they were going to do, which was reduced aim assist to a point where you actually felt it, and you felt it hard.
Now at this point, at least at the time of recording this video, we haven't heard anything official from the developers explaining all of the details of exactly what changed. However, a little while back before launch, Matt Schranz did address this and mention some things they were looking into changing, not necessarily things they had committed to 100%. And I'll just let you guys have a listen to this for yourself. He can.
Okay, so I didn't see anything official until after they gave the buff. The buff, they actually did say that they were increasing the aim assist from their penalty to a different percentage. So they did show those numbers, but as far as the nerf goes, originally they didn't post anything official.
Explain it faster than I can.
Okay, next up, I want to touch on what we're doing with aim assist in Black Ops 7.
It was all testers. All testers are the ones that got those numbers originally, and then after the fact, the actual studio came out and said something.
So first off, we're looking very closely at the data, and the data says that controller players are winning slightly more in close range engagements, and then keyboard mouse players are winning slightly more in those long range engagements. So what we're going to do here is to try to close that gap, take a very close look at the strength of aim assist across all of those ranges, and then additionally, we are looking at rotational aim assist and the requirement for your right aim stick to be moving in the direction of your target.
That's the most important part. Right aim stick moving in the direction of your target, because right now, as long as you had left stick input, you were tracking your opponent with rotational aim assist, and with the right stick, you didn't even need to be tracking in the direction of your opponent. It would pull as long as you cross paths with them. So I'm super curious to see how this affects
details to share
the future of this game.
So there we go. Again, still waiting on those concrete details. Now let's dive into the testing that I've done. And the first thing I wanted to see is if they ended up making that decision to require right stick movement in order to activate rotational aim assist. And it turns out it doesn't look like this is the route they ended up going. As you can see here, I am getting a small amount of rotational aim assist, and I am only touching my left stick. I'm only strafing back and forth. There's no right stick.
It's a very minimal amount
here, and you can see my character is.
Now, I can see it. It's so minimal. It's like a 1 to 2 degree shift. But right now, with that, if you only did your left stick, it actually kind of rotates you around that opponent. So you can definitely see the difference between the two. However, it's not what they said was it would require right stick input versus just left stick input. So that would have to get reverted to 0%.
Rotating in the direction of the enemy player. So I've seen a lot of people making the claim that you do need right stick input, and I assume that would likely be the case as well based on this.
It's so minimal. It's so minimal.
They hadn't committed to anything at that point. They just said they were looking into making those changes. And as far as I can see with my testing here, this isn't the route they went. Now, another thing that was sort of alluded to with that dev talk is that we were maybe actually expecting some buffs at long ranges to aim assist to help close the gap between controller and mouse and keyboard.
That's what they made it sound like.
In those ranges, whereas up close, we were expecting to see nerfs to aim assist to close that gap between controller and mouse and keyboard. And obviously with this, we don't know exactly what they consider to be longer ranges. I mean, we are talking multiplayer here, so I'm assuming we're not looking at like...
Right, and that's kind of what I was considering. So if you guys remember the nerf that they did last year to aim assist, it was 3 meters to point blank. There was, I believe, no aim assist, and then it ramped up, right? So in my mind, range basically means 3 meters and beyond, because one, it's multiplayer. Just like he said, it's a small map, so range isn't very far. So how that translates into Warzone is going to basically feel like anything outside of 10 meters is range, right? Because multiplayer, anything outside 10 meters is pretty far, right? In a small map, it feels like that, right? But on Warzone, that's the entire map. That's every POI. That's everything. So we'll see how that translates.
100 plus meters or anything like you might see in Warzone. But with all of my testing, I haven't really found any indication of any range where it feels like aim assist is stronger than it has been in recent Call of Duty games.
That's good.
And speaking of previous Call of Duty games, let's look at a direct comparison.
And I do want to say, I've played controller for almost 2 years now. Before that, I have played M&K for about 20 plus years. I started playing on computer and basically been on computer since the late 90s. Okay.
Here with Black Ops 6. And the first comparison I wanted to show here is if you only have left stick movement and an enemy sprints past you in close quarters. So throughout this whole situation, I am pulling my character back into the corner. So I'm constantly applying that left stick movement without touching my right stick at all. And you can see when the enemy sprints past, the aim assist does react and grab to that player and it rotates a little bit. Now, here's what it looks like in Black Ops 6, doing the exact same thing, and you can probably tell that's grabbing a lot harder than it is in Black Ops 7. So it definitely seems to be a sign of a nerf.
You see how much you rotate?
A more quantifiable approach I like taking is strafing at 10 meters, starting outside of the aim assist bubble, and then strafing completely sideways across the target to see how much my character rotates by itself without me touching the right stick as my aim crosses through their aim assist bubble. And the easy way to track this is simply using the compass on the top of the screen, because any sort of rotation with the compass is going to be due to rotational aim assist if I'm not touching my right stick at all, which I'm not. And we can see I start off at 73 degrees before aim assist kicks in, and then once it releases, I'm sitting at 64.
So 9 degrees of rotation.
11 degrees there at 10 meters. Whereas in Black Ops 6, I performed the exact same test at the exact same range. And you can see at the same range, my character rotated a total of 19 degrees. So that's at least one area where we can definitely see a very noticeable nerf to rotational aim assist.
That is a noticeable nerf.
Numbers,
however, it should be right stick only, right?
In half. And you can also see that really clearly when I'm just kind of strafing back and forth and seeing how much my character is rotating in these situations. You can see it is grabbing very hard in Black Ops 6 relative.
Now, you might be wondering, like, why is that important, right? So, like, the TTK in this game is so freaking fast. The TTK is so freaking fast that by the time you have a chance to break the rotation aim assist, you could already be close to death, because the TTK on most SMGs are 550 milliseconds to 600 milliseconds for all the meta SMGs, right? And during that rotational aim assist pull, as long as they fire relatively quick, you're basically dead or almost dead, right? So that's the issue with it. It gives you an inhuman response that if you're on a human input, which is M&K, you're not going to be able to compete with it.
To doing the same sort of thing in Black Ops 7. It's clearly weaker here. And again, I'm sure most of you guys have noticed that while playing as well. As for the aim assist slowdown, though, this is the other type of aim assist where when you're just sweeping your aim across the target,
that looks
how much is it
relatively about the same.
Across? And with this, the way I test this is I perform a 360-degree turn and measure exactly how long it takes to do a full 360.
I like that.
Without any enemy present, so there's no aim assist present at all, just as a baseline. And then I compare that to an enemy standing exactly 10 meters away from me and doing that same 360. But now this 360 includes that slowdown. And I tested at 10 meters for both Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7, and I got literally identical results.
I was about to say, it looks exactly the same.
To confirm that the sensitivity settings did carry over 1-to-1 from Black Ops 6 to Black Ops 7. That's not really a surprise. I just know some people have been asking, and that's something I...
Now, I have zero issue with that. I think that aim assist, that slowdown bubble, should stay. There's no issue with that. I don't think anyone's actually complaining about just that slowdown bubble at all. It's the rotational aim assist, which is essentially a program helping assist your aim and tracking. And that's the difference between a slowdown bubble and aimbot, essentially. This is aim assist in some situations. And don't get me wrong, I've been playing controller for the last 2 years. I get it. But it does, in a lot of situations, give you inhuman aiming where you just can't miss, even if you wanted to. There are situations I didn't even mean to kill someone, and I did. It just happens. So if you are looking for a more fair game, this needs to be balanced. So I love to see the direction this is going. And
also stumbled upon with this testing.
Right now, the nerf seem
as far as I can
in
tell,
the right direction.
hasn't changed at all. It's just that rotational aim assist. However,
Good.
What about at a bit of a range? Because again, they were alluding to the fact that they were at least considering some buffs to longer range aim assist. And again, while we don't know exactly what they consider to be long range, for regular multiplayer, I consider 70 meters to be a very long range. Like, it's pretty rare to find a line of sight that's practical beyond that.
70 meters, I think that's reasonable.
It's hardly a factor in Black Ops 7 at this range. And it's the same story in Black Ops 6. Like, your character is technically rotating a little bit, but it's not like your aim is really grabbing onto the enemy character model or anything. It's just kind of barely rotating around the general bubble of the player. And as far as I can tell here, based on feel at least, while it may be a little bit weaker in Black Ops 7,
he's aiming
in both
a little
cases,
high there.
It's basically just not a huge factor within this sort of range. And then I also tested at 50 meters just to see if there's any difference there. And again, it felt pretty much the same. Rotational's not really a heavy factor at this range. And slowdown, while you can definitely feel it there, it doesn't feel any different from Black Ops 6 to Black Ops 7. So there we go. That's the aim assist changes as far as the ones that I was able to discover with these forms of testing that I've done at least. Perhaps there's even more going on under the hood that I just didn't run into with my testing. Again, we'll be waiting for the developers to hopefully provide some more concrete details on what they've adjusted. But in general, it does appear that our rotational aim assist has been nerfed. Again, by the numbers that I found, I don't know if it's really representative of the exact numbers that they changed behind the scenes, but based on the numbers I found at 10 meters, we're looking at a roughly 40 to 50% nerf to rotational aim assists.
Now, he was really close to getting that 40% number right. They actually did talk about the numbers. So we'll open up a couple tweets here in a second and talk about that.
Somewhere in that general range, which is quite a significant nerf.
It is a significant nerf. I agree.
To some of you, but it's something I always have to remind people about because I often see misinformation spread about this. This means this is the weakest rotational aim assist we have had in Call of Duty, at least within this range. And yes, I'm even referring to like older Golden Age Call of Duty games. That's something I've done testing on, and Hexsmith, he does a...
I'm not going to lie. It's a little bit more exciting thinking about watching CDL now because you're just going to see like these dudes actually miss shots. Right now, the way it looks, it's just like it's reaction speed, it's good centering. Now it's actually going to be reaction speed, good centering, and tracking. Like, it's going to be beautiful. We're going to see like these even better players like stand out because you're going to have this extra thing. Not everyone's going to hit every shot. It's going to be a lot better for the viewer experience too, in my opinion.
A lot of aim assist testing. He did the testing as well with this and also confirmed and found the same results I did. Rotational aim assist has always been...
Call me crazy too if you want, but also believe nerfing rotational aim assist is going to make finding cheaters a lot easier. I believe when you're talking about, like, there's so many times where I'm just like, I don't know if he's cheating or if he just got insane rotational aim assist. Well, with this being nerfed, we're definitely going to tell a lot easier. So that's another plus.
Very strong in Call of Duty, even from the beginning, or at least going back to like COD 4, for instance. It's always been very strong, and it hasn't actually changed by any large margin from older Call of Duty games to the more modern ones when it comes to the strength within the active ranges.
So he's right. The overall strength from everything I've seen has not really changed a lot. What has improved is the technology and other things around aim assist, with things like reducing input delay significantly, better controller technology, and other settings that they've added to the game.
The change that did take place was with Modern Warfare 2019, they massively increased the range at which aim assist would be active, up to 200 meters, whereas in older COD games, depending on the type of weapon,
it was like 30 meters.
30 to 40-ish meters for most of the regular guns.
So that's true.
Like 50 meters for sniper rifles. And then anything beyond those ranges with that gun, you'd have literally zero aim assist. So that was a big change and a big buff that happened.
It is a really big change.
But within the active ranges, Aim assist has always been really strong, although back in the day you could argue hardware was generally a lot worse, so you had worse dead zones, higher input lag, you didn't have as many settings that you could use as well to really fine-tune like aim down sight sensitivity values.
Right.
So I'm not saying it was necessarily easier to aim back
it's
in
a
the day.
lot
I'm
of
just
other
saying
things
the
that
strength
come
of aim
into like
assist itself
making
is,
it a
as
bigger
far as I can
problem.
tell, the weakest we have ever seen in Call of Duty history in Black Ops 7 after these nerfs. And like I said, I've really been noticing this, although I have been adapting just fine overall. I'm sure you'll see in the gameplay I'm whiffing a lot of shots that I otherwise wouldn't be.
I've noticed
so I
a lot of
still got some learning and
squigglies.
adapting to do when it comes to this. It will take some time to really retrain a lot of that muscle memory.
It will.
But
You're
this
just
is where
used to
I'm
aim
curious
assist
to hear
taking
from
over.
you guys in those comments down below. Now that you've seen some back-to-back comparisons here, how are you feeling about the strength of aim assist in Black Ops 7 relative to older Call of Duty games? Do you think this was an appropriate nerf? Do you think they took it too far? Do you think it didn't need to be nerfed at all? Just let me know all of those thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already.
All right, I'm gonna link his video down in the description, so make sure you go and show him some love as well. He did a great job putting this video together, but let's look at some tweets now.
I'll talk to you guys.
So since they've nerfed aim assist, you start having all these MK players on here showing clips like this where they're just stunning on all these kids in here. Now this could be a mix of like lower SBMM lobbies, because we know they did remove SBMM, or at least reduced it significantly for a portion of time, which rumors are they increased SBMM again. Shocking. So you see a lot of these clips, a lot of impression farming on Twitter, you know, playing on the fills, a lot of 360s, all just a lot of additional unnecessary movement, saying he's breaking their cameras because no aim assist. I mean, he could just be playing against a bunch of other MK players or just a bunch of bots, but that's kind of the stuff you'll be seeing on Twitter. And then there's this, people saying things like this: the constant complaining about aim assist, I'm pretty sure is autocorrect, is ridiculous. Mouse and keyboard players need to realize that no AAA game will ever survive more than a month or two if controller isn't in the game. People won't play it. There is so many more people on controller, and this is coming from somebody who played a lot of mouse and keyboard. Now, okay, they literally buff and nerf everything in this game. We're talking about operator skins, POIs, weapons, lethals, tacticals, perks, everything in the game. Literally everything. But we can't talk about nerfing or buffing aim assist. I don't think that's correct. I think everything should be subject to balance. And aim assist is one of those things that were left untouched because it gave these players a certain amount of dopamine. And what they ended up doing is alienating millions of mouse and keyboard players. Millions. So how about you buff it so it's fair to both inputs, and you can actually bring in an audience from both inputs? All right, and here's someone else doing a test. A look at the new aim assist changes. Aim assist reticle is no longer pulling off of the target. You're aiming at if another player walks in front of them. How many times were you aiming in a window at a guy, shooting him? His teammate runs by and it pulls you off of a guy you probably would have killed. I've had it happen. So here's this in action. You can see he's aiming at this guy right here, and it doesn't pull off. He's aiming at him. You can see the aim assist. But when he's aiming directly at this guy, it doesn't pull off. Pretty cool. Good change. And then here's Hex Smith. He does a lot of the aim assist science stuff. So he's the one that basically puts out the exact numbers. You'll see like he puts out percentages and everything. So let's go watch this. So BO7 rotational aim assist buff is 5 meters. Quick confirmation, 21 November brought a buff to minimum rotational aim assist, a new concept in BO7, but still achieved by crossing the same basic thresholds from previous games, engaging left stick 25% or right stick 5%. This is BO6, BO7. You can see it is, now this is at the top, BO7 buff, because they did buff the nerf. So they nerfed it and then buffed it because they realized they went a little too far. And you can see that it still rotates, but the degree of difference is 2%. So the nerf originally reduced it all the way to a 9% or 9-degree change. Now they buffed it, and now it will help you rotate 11 degrees, which is It's a significant buff. But when you compare those to the older numbers, that's a significant nerf. So I believe this is like a relatively decent nerf. We'll see how it plays out. Now, this is just number crunching. Numbers don't necessarily like translate. It looks crazy, right? Seeing single digit numbers from 30% down to 11%. That's crazy, right? How does it actually play out? We'll see. I think once we actually get in Warzone, that's what really matters, because on these multiplayer games, the TTK is like literally half of what it is on Warzone. So that's everything I have to talk about. What do you guys think? How do you feel about the aim assist buff and nerfs? I think it being nerfed is the correct way. How much? That's what's to be determined, because obviously we want a fair playing space for everybody. The more people that are interested in playing this game, bring in M&K players, bring in controller players, find a balance that works. It's never going to be 50-50, but it's definitely better than 95-5 right now, right? So I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. If you like reaction videos like this, where I talk down and break apart a subject and discuss it, please let me know down in the comments, man, because I do enjoy doing this. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.